We've all done it. Without even thinking, we blurt out our opinion in the middle of a conversation, interrupting others. We say something cruel amid an argument, stunning ourselves and hurting a loved one. Instead of simply listening and staying present with another loved one, we insert our own experience at every turn, using our words to bring focus to ourselves. Or perhaps our mind moves so fast that we simply trip over ourselves, speaking at the pace of our thoughts without considering our own intentions or the presence of others. But why do we do it? Of course, the reasons are often deeply personal, but that isn't the whole story. We are also responding to our external surroundings. Consider our cultural messages. Why at every turn we are encouraged to seek more, to increase our presence, to brand our very lives, to dominate and to win. We are told to compete in order to be seen and ultimately to matter. Even if we see these toxic cultural messages for what they are, lies that serve the ego and the dollar and rob us of our precious life energy, we still feel them. We all absorb them to some degree. It takes a lot of consciousness and kindness to keep these messages out of ourselves. Take a moment to consider how you feel after watching something negative and violent. How did it make you feel? How about a woman's publication which holds us to very, very unattainable standards of perfection? And what about social media? How many of us have spent more hours than we'd care to admit scrolling through the feeds of people who painstakingly curate their lives? Many of us have spent more hours than brandishing words in order to sow jealousy in the eyes of others. Even a cursory glance at the headlines of the world which seem to pop up have clickbait. Social media increases this toxic cultural messaging to a profound degree. Technology has always been used to influence the culture for better or worse, but in the past we had a great degree of distance. You could turn off the television or put down the magazine, but not anymore. Now we are glued to our phones and we couldn't dream of moving about without them. We now have the ability to anonymously act on our every knee-jerk reaction. So 24 hours a day, we have a negative energy pumping out into the world and into our beings, affecting the way we speak to one another in our real non-digital lives. It is so easy to brush right over all these things, to ignore the impact they have on our souls, sinking our moods, speeding us up where we should slow down, slowing us where we need vital energy to keep our senses open, and distancing us from our true selves and therefore our purpose. It can be overwhelming to stop and reflect on the sheer number of words we take in every day, and how many of those words make us feel in a sense as if they're pushing us and shocking us and pressurizing us and bringing us our anxiety right up. Even well-meaning words can cause harm when they are wielded without consciousness. How many of us slow down and consider the nature of the ripple of our words and what energy it carries it? We must acknowledge the reality that words have power and respond with consciousness and accountability. When we use our words to show up on our own ego and our own will, we unwittingly weaponize them even in the company of friends. In a world where we are encouraged to be the loudest and the fastest, even good words can emerge as screams. If we hope to bring more purpose to our speech, to stop reacting on impulse to the frantic verbal energy constantly swirling in our midst, we must begin to see and name the culturing messaging and disarm it within ourselves. We cannot change our culture and the habits of speech that reflect it until we listen to our inner landscape. The first step in this powerful process is to start paying attention. It's not so much that we entirely tune out the culture, which is probably an unrealistic goal for most of us working in the modern world, but that we tune into the feelings and energies that cultural messaging creates in our own being.